Okay, so this is a little tag video. I was tagged by the wonderful northern lass. That is Sam Smells, and it's the most fragrance tag, so it's the most something or other that each of these fragrances represent. It was originally begun by Tera Michelle, who is Opinionated Scents. So go check out both of them. So obviously Sam had a slightly different spin as we all do on tags, so it's worth checking out Tera's as well, because to see what the original is. But obviously I don't know how mine's going to turn out, but I'll try and stick as much as I can to them. But obviously we all have different experiences, and some experiences you know, just aren't relevant to us. So hopefully I'll stick good to both of them. Enjoy. And also I shall link both their channels in the description, and if I tag anyone, which again I'll decide at the end, I shall put that in the description, etc. as well. Alright, thanks folks, enjoy. Now I'll start with the first one. I'll do it in two slightly different ways. It doesn't, obviously in the jobs I did get an award actually, funnily enough, and I did give a kind of a speech, but it was an award not from my company, it was an award from the local area for what my role in my company. Anyway, don't like talking about stuff like that. What was more likely at work for me to wear this most confident fragrance was to get a disciplinary. I got told off the odd time here and there for really silly things, trust me, really silly things. Normally back answering in a bit of cheek, but it's my job. Anyway, I'm waffling. Tera's kind of version has all you would be wearing to receive this award, and personally all I'd be wearing to receive this disciplinary is a fragrance, nothing else. So you'd be naked. And what I've chosen for that is sorry about that, horses walking past. So what I have chose for that is obviously want somebody to only concentrate on your fragrance and not how cold it is in the room, if you know what I mean. And what I've picked for that is Dark Lord from Kilian. And the reason I've picked that is because, my word, you need to be confident to wear that fragrance. It is a kind of terrifying, chilling fragrance. It's got loads of woods, dark green resins. It's a little bit oody. It's just very dark, very leathery, very medicinal. And like I've said a million times, it makes me think of coffins and morgues, because certain notes used in it and that. Anyway, the reason obviously that is a good one is because everybody will be looking at the floor, because they'll be so terrified of the smell of the fragrance. So that's what I've picked for a kind of disciplinary in front of a board. I don't think I've had a disciplinary in front of a board. I make myself sound like a bad boy at work. It was for something silly. I can't remember what the last one I got was. Anyway, for appearing confident in front of a big occasion at work, it is Dark Lord from Kilian. Next one is Most Desirable, and this is kind of obviously the fragrance that I suppose most desirable to the opposite sex or the gender you're wishing to attract, which can be any or none or both. Whatever rings your bells. I'm not fussed who wants to find me irresistible, really. You know, the more the merrier. But for me, what I've gone for with this is, it's not necessarily a fragrance I particularly adore myself, but apparently it has some magic in it, and especially French ladies absolutely adore it, and that's Straight to Heaven from Kilian again, another Kilian. I promise it won't all be Kilians, but I've got Straight to Heaven Extreme, so I'll go for that. I think that leans a little more mature and a little kind of straighter edged, if you like. I think Straight to Heaven's a bit more bad boy, but I'm going to go with the Extreme. And apparently all these French ladies will be falling over me, which, who am I to complain? It's basically bit of spice, a bit of, I think there's nutmeg, there's a lot of patchouli, there's a rum note going through it. The vanilla and the rum are much more amped up in the extreme version. But it's pretty much a story about patchouli and rum, really. And they are very traditionally masculine smelling notes, I guess. Although I'd love to smell it on a woman. So yeah, for the most desirable fragrance, I have gone for Kilian's Straight to Heaven Extreme. The next one is the most gangster. Now this, the way Sam describes it, is kind of the one that just smells so good that even people who hate you are going to appreciate. Yeah, you know what I mean, innit? It's basically just going to demand respect because it is that good. They're going to go, God, look at the state of that John. Damn, that boy smells good. Or something like that, anyway. I think Sam put it much better, much kind of more cool than me. And what I've picked for that is, of course, Dior Parfum. I mean, come on. That fragrance, that mix of leather, iris, rose, that darkness about it, that smooth sophistication, that even if the person you hated most in the world walked past you wearing that, you would stop and you would go, you smell damn good. What more is there to say about it, really? I don't need to waffle on. Dior Parfum is possibly one of the best smelling fragrances ever made, in my humble opinion, and I don't think anybody else would disagree. It has its down points. It's very, 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 very strong, and it fills a room, so you have to go light on it. But that is my most gangster fragrance, or as Sam would say, gangster. So the next kind of most is most innocent. I did actually have to think about this. I suppose it would be the most, kind of the opposite to the most gangster, isn't it, really? The kind of, you know, if you were, you'd upset somebody or annoyed someone, just one of them fragrances that would be calming and approachable, and you'd be quite inoffensive and lovable. And I think for that, probably Nishani's 100 Silent Ways, maybe. It's just a beautiful, soft, vanilla, tuberose, musky kind of fragrance, basically. There's a lot more in it. But it's one of them that isn't in anyone's faces. It leaves a nice little trail, don't get me wrong. And it's just one that would just, yeah, anyone would think you're quite a quiet, kind of reserved individual, really, wearing it. They wouldn't presume that they could ever get angry at you or anything, or that you were the person who shoplifted the chocolate bars from Asda or anything like that. It couldn't possibly be you, because you're wearing such a pretty little, dainty, pleasurable, lovely fragrance. So for innocent, it is Nishani's 100 Silent Ways. Next is most rowdy. Now I only have a little 5ml of this now. I used to have a bottle a long time ago, and I probably will purchase it actually one day. And that is it's what you would call your kind of look at me darling kind of fragrance, isn't it? You kind of, yeah, I'm here, look at me, enjoy me. And that was that would be Jean-Paul Gaultier's Ultramal. I don't know why I like it. It is ridiculously loud. It is ridiculously obnoxious. It is very, very sweet. Really, it could choke anyone out with more than a few sprays. But when you're out clubbing, it's one of them that you have to wear. And there's something about it. I love it. I mean, again, obviously this was pre being obsessed by fragrances, but I must have gone through my bottle pretty quickly. And it's just, it's like this sweet dark pineapple pear, vanilla, loud, obnoxious bomb of a fragrance, isn't it? And it definitely is something that people would smell all around you. And again, Ultramal, especially in my days of going out, wasn't an overly popular fragrance, so you definitely stood out and it definitely got your attention. So that's my kind of fragrance. And the last one is the fragrance that's most me, that people would say is the most me. I'm going to surprise you all here. I wouldn't say it's Dew Bomb, because that was too... It could have been anyone back in them days, and it still could be now because it's so common. I actually think what people would most associate with me from before and now, maybe not newer friends, now that I'm an adult, it's been a while since I've been out, would be Hugo Boss's Dark Blue. We're in the little cocktail shaker. Yeah, it's nothing flash, nothing special, but again, it does kind of hark to my taste. It's quite sweet, it's quite creamy, it's quite warm, it's quite unassuming, but it is absolutely beautiful. And it's, you know, it's not your stereotypical, it's not your Sauvage or something, it's not overly in someone's face, etc. So yeah, the fragrance I think people would associate as being the most me actually would be Hugo Boss's Dark. And of course, what bottle defines me? Well, keeping it brief, it would have to be Narciso Rodriguez Fleur Musk, wouldn't it really? Lovely, beautiful pink frosted bottle. My favourite colour is pink. I think I have a lot of pinkness and colour inside me. And of course, pink was the great, used to be the colour that represents kind of humanity, blood and war and all of that. Whereas that doesn't really represent me. The humanity side does, doesn't it? Life. So yeah, Narciso Rodriguez Fleur Musk. Right, thanks. So yeah, I can be quick with these last three. I need to be, don't I? The name of a fragrance that's most like me. Another Killian. I don't need a prince to be a princess. No, I don't need a prince by my side to be a princess. Apparently I don't. I'm a perfectly good princess, with or without a prince or a princess by my side. No explanation needed. Thank you, goodbye. So the last up on video is the one that, the fragrance that I define as most being me. This is quite tricky, but I think it's probably Noir de Noir, because I am quite a kind of, you know, gloomy, sultry, no, quite a gloomy, dark, but I've got a bit of a sweet side in me, I think. And it's that little bit of chocolatiness. I wouldn't call myself intoxicating, but I do have that kind of inner goth, don't I? And yeah, I've got to keep these ones brief. So the fragrance I'd say most kind of defines me is Noir de Noir from Tom Ford. So that was a little quick video about the most. It's quite an interesting one to do. What about yourselves? What would you say most defines these categories for yourself? Right, thanks folks, bye.